All right, do the intro. Go.
Welcome to the podcast.
Okay, what's the name of the podcast?
Podcast name
Go. Just
is
go. Don't think about it.
the
Just go.
the Unplanned, Unprepared, Unpredictable podcast. I actually know the name of our podcast, unlike you.
No, you know
who watches
what?
it.
You know what? One of the times I said like 3 words, 2 out of 3 were correct.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then you're like almost none of it was right. Anyway,
maybe I was wrong.
yeah. Or you said
It is
one
that
was right. You said one was right. So in that moment, you didn't even really know.
I did not.
All right.
I did not. I own. Hey, I own it. I own it.
Okay. All right. Welcome to our podcast, the Unplanned,
Unprepared, Unpredictable podcast.
Uneducated.
It truly is unprepared, and it. I think the last episode was very unpredictable. Right? I didn't know that's where it was going to go. Or
Where did we go?
we went into politics, but then we went into a really like conspiratorial, like conspiracy theorists mindset, right?
You know what's funny? So I usually have a teeny drink usually as we do this.
Uh-huh.
So I bet you if I listen to the podcast again, I'd be surprised. Whoa, I can't
Yeah.
believe that that's so shocking, you know?
Yeah.
And if I am surprised and shocked by it, then I'm sure our listening audience will
Yeah.
definitely be shocked and surprised by it. So
There you go. Is
That's-
that a good thing? It's
that's
a selling
the-
point, right?
that's the appeal. That is the appeal. It's a lightning in a bottle. You're trying to capture something so mysterious, something so impossible. We should add more letters or more things. Unplanned,
Unprepared, unpredictable.
unpredictable, unexpected.
Ah.
I don't know. Impossible. Anyway, it's an impossible. I hope some people find this because I do think it would be somewhat entertaining at the very least.
Yeah, I don't think a single person has listened to it.
All right.
I don't think we have a single here. Huh?
What's our infrastructure like right now? Are we posting on things? I have no idea.
No, we literally upload the podcast right now, and that's it.
Oh, I
We
see. I
haven't
see. I
done
see. I
any
see.
sort of marketing.
All right. Maybe Kevin will do it. Hey, Kevin. We gotta start. Hey, you gotta start doing your job, brother. We gotta get Kevin on it soon. But I think we should post little clips and things and just see what happens. For sure, it will show up on people's pages. Eventually.
So one thing we need to do, I think, is make a really clip-worthy little 30-second.
Oh, what if today we just say random things that's so shocking that people come to the podcast and it's just the podcast about shocking, phrases that we say. Is that dishonest? It is dishonest, right? Absolutely.
Well, but if that's not the promise of the podcast, I don't know what it is.
What's the premise?
The promise. I said the promise.
Oh, the promise.
The premise is it's unprepared,
random,
unpredictable.
Yeah.
I feel like we haven't hit unpredictable as hard as we can. Truly make it off the wall.
You know what? Like even whatever I do, there's a little part of me that is a little worried that people will find it.
Yeah.
Based on
especially episode 2.
Oh, right? Well, that one was talking about specific people in my life, so that I mean, I went a little far. I did go a little bit too far. And if
is there anything you want to retract from that episode?
I'm just being honest. Like I genuinely try to tell the truth all the time. I don't see the purpose in lying. I mean, like there are white lies. Like, do I look cute today? Oh, sure, yeah. Even if you don't, actually, no. I think I would tell you, hey, that haircut is kind of weird. I think I would tell that person. You could soften the blow, but I don't want to be disingenuous or dishonest.
Yeah.
But I was telling the truth. I may but I don't like the gossip either. And it felt gossipy, but I was also just answering the questions honestly. This is real, but I don't want that person to hear it probably. Those people, them folks.
Well, at least they know, right? That you don't 100% feel that type of way towards them if they're listening. But the fact that you don't want them to hear it means that you have some reservations about what you said. So it leaves a little room for reconciliation there.
Like it was a moment in time, man. No one's perfect all the time. I'm sure they could say a dozen things about me, but yeah, in that moment in my life, I
Mhm,
didn't like the things that I was seeing,
mhm,
and yeah. I'm open to me being wrong and my what's it called? Maybe like I was reading the situation incorrectly. I don't know. I don't know.
mhm.
Maybe I was taking things uh like too harshly, but yeah. But I
And can you
prefer.
hear me? Can
Uh,
you hear me eating?
no, I would have preferred not to say. You're eating now. What are you eating?
I'm hungry.
Oh, like, did you not eat dinner?
Oh, this is just a snack.
Oh, I just woke up. I just woke up. My day has been a mess. Like I'm tired. I was working. I'm like a little bit behind. I have to finish some work tonight. I've been
Mm.
finishing work after work hours pretty consistently. What I don't even remember what I ate today. Like it's a mess. I had half a bag of Takis.
Um,
I've never like I've
I
always.
think that's enough about your personal life.
Is it?
Let's get into the content. I mean, are people coming here to hear about our personal lives? They don't
I
even know who we are.
It's the unpredictable part of it, but I'm telling
Yeah.
you, like the Takis
Mhm,
was I don't. I usually don't eat Takis, but somebody left like half a bag at my house,
mhm.
and I finished it. Like, but
Same.
Takis is one of those foods. At my age, I know I'm like damaging my body. Like every
Yeah.
bite is just so like indulgent, and it.
I
Oh
think
my
at
gosh.
every age, right? It's
Oh,
not just your age.
you're right. You're right. But Takis is just like
Yeah.
junk. Like
Yeah.
somehow, if you get big and Takis wants to sponsor us, no, I cannot. It's a drug too, cause I couldn't stop eating it. Like other
Mm.
chips, I'll have like 10, 12, 15, and that's
That
like a normal serving size. But Takis, I was just chomping them. I don't know. I was just eating so many of them, and I feel awful about it.
Takis, if you do want to
Oh.
sponsor us, then come talk to me because I'll
Oh,
advertise for
do they
anything.
have like other
Yep.
flavors? I don't know. Like it's just like covered in flavoring and salt and powder. Oh my gosh.
Mm,
It's unbelievable, but I couldn't stop eating it.
mm. All
Anyways, all
right.
right.
Topic for today. What is it?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I genuinely didn't think about anything because
Hey, okay, okay. Let's how about we work on some clickbait? I actually think that that
okay.
would be a funny interesting idea. How do we what is, let's talk about clickbait. What is
Okay,
it?
okay,
How do
here.
we define
I got
it?
one. I got one. I got
Okay.
one. I got one.
You're gonna
Let's
say
just
what?
jump into it. Yeah, I'm gonna just jump into it, and we can analyze whether
All
it's
right. But your
clickbaity.
clickbait is often overly political, but go ahead. Here we go.
No, no, this is
All right.
All right, ready? For fans of the MCU, I I have a beef about the way that they set up some of their stuff. And I'm talking about the Infinity Saga. The way that the heroes get their powers that are related to the Infinity Stones, it's all mixed up, right? You know, Wanda should have gotten her powers from exposure to the Reality Stone, but it was exposure to the Mind Stone, you know? Captain Marvel should have gotten her powers through exposure to the Power Stone, but she got it through exposure to the Space Stone. I think um, Doctor Strange and all the magicians, all the sorcerers or whatever, they should have gotten the ability to make their portals using the Space Stone, but they're somehow related to the Time Stone. Quicksilver should have been given his power through exposure to the Time Stone, right? Because he can essentially slow down time to make himself faster. And who else am I missing? Am I missing anyone else? Oh, and I think Vision, he should have been animated using the Soul Stone, not the Mind Stone, right? Because we already know that Tony Stark has the ability to create Gen AI like Jarvis, right? But it's Vision having a soul that really makes him a unique character. So, if they could go back in time, I think that's how they should have phrased it, or they should have framed it. But I think it's a missed opportunity. Cut. How was that?
That
That's pretty.
was no, that was so boring. I'm
What?
so bored.
Really?
I
Oh
almost fell
man.
asleep. I could not focus on
Okay.
what. Oh no, I get the gist of what you're trying to say, but
Yeah,
that's a very niche. It's very niche.
it is.
Like
It's
it's
just
like,
something I've been thinking
all
about.
right,
I'm very bothered by it
okay,
because
you
like
know,
it
yeah.
falls in so neatly, but they just you know they fumbled it.
So you think they weren't thinking about it, or would they have their own explanations to everything that you just said?
No, I think it was a lack of planning. Yeah, I genuinely don't think they knew what they were doing with the Power Stones or the Infinity
Oh,
Stones
so it's like go with the
early on.
flow, and that's just
Yeah.
how it all fell into place.
Yep. Yep.
Uh, m- maybe, but like I don't know. So much of the first four phases was like it seemed well thought out. So that's just one thing that they didn't consider or they didn't care to be comic book accurate, lore accurate.
No, it's not even that. It's well, it's not lore accurate, anyways, because Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, they're mutants. They don't get their powers through the Infinity Stones. This is completely contained to the MCU.
Oh, I see.
If
I
they
see. I
if they
see.
had if they had thought about it a little bit, I think they could have made the powers associated with the Infinity Stones. I think they could have made it make more
All right. You know what? We'll clip it and
sense.
see. I honestly like I mean, but
All right, all right.
it's within so okay, so you just don't like that all these things happen and they don't even really relate to the powers of each stone
No. Why who is it? Captain Marvel? Like she has nothing her powers has nothing to do
to
with
do
the
it.
space stone.
Oh,
It
other
has
than it's from space, I guess.
yeah. It has everything to do with the power stone, right?
Cuz she's strong.
She's super strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when I think about the Infinity Stones, I think, ooh, they look delicious. Like, you know, they look like candy. I don't think I I like Marvel. I like it a lot, but I must be very casual. Even though I'm a little obsessive, I
you know,
uh-huh.
one other beef I have.
With
In
Marvel again?
Yeah, in
All right.
Thor Love and Thunder,
Uh-huh.
they have a little joke where there's an ice cream store called the Infinity Cones.
Yeah.
Literally half the world disappeared because of the Infinity Stones, and
Uh-huh.
they're using it as a marketing gimmick. It would be like if after the Holocaust, somebody made
Nuclear
like
ice
a
cream?
no like gas chamber ice cream or something. Like
Whoa.
something like super like crazy like that, right? Like how distasteful is Infinity Cones?
I've heard that criticism before and I like it. but
What?
but
Like would you
it's not real
like
to me. It's not real to me. How do I make it real to me? Because the
um
Holocaust is too extreme of an
9/11,
example. No. Okay,
9/11.
but if somebody went back and snapped their fingers, boom, and fixed the Holocaust, you could, uh, yeah. I mean, Holocaust just sounds not good. But Infinity
Okay, no.
Clones, uh huh.
Let's say that
And
somebody
real quick, in the Gauntlet too, nobody knows about how any of this happened. Like, it's not like news outlets were like oh, this guy named Thanos. This is how it all happened. Do you think they were all like telling people that?
one
No.
one hundred
Oh, no,
percent.
but
You
like
don't think they would have
specifically how, like, oh, he had this thing called the Infinity Stones, and no, they're probably like this guy named. Actually, how do you even convey that to the world? Because you have no idea. You think the Avengers were releasing press releases or whatever, like little statements to tell everybody this guy named Thanos. He was purple. He was giant. He had had these things called Infinity Stones, and that's how. Like, did the world really want an explanation, and it was explained to them like that?
I think so. Do you know who Osama bin Laden is?
He's the guy who did bad things.
Yeah. How do
But
you know that?
that the government was involved in the Avengers. Is just
You don't
like 10
wait,
guys.
you don't think the government was
Knew
involved
about Thanos
in Yeah, of course. How would they not know about Thanos?
because that would no because the Avengers like wait, give me a second. The
S-
Avengers didn't know about Thanos until Infinity War. Like not really, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, some of them knew, but they really
But
like not all of them really knew until that.
No, think about the alien spaceship that came like literally in the middle of New York City.
No, no, no. I get it, but like as a the government and as people, you look at oh shoot, it's alien invasion,
Yeah,
and
but the
like
government, you don't think the government would
you'd
do
have to
some
do a lot
research?
of wait, but the only way to do it is for the Avengers to explain it all to you, and
Yeah, and
I'm
why
not.
wouldn't the Avengers explain that?
And okay, but then you think the government was like, you know what? We got to tell everybody what happened. Thanos, Infinity Stones. There's all these five rocks. There are these colors, and I wonder like how much of an
Well,
explanation they gave to the public.
the fact that somebody thought to market it as a ice cream cone
So
place
people knew
means that
about
the
it.
general, yeah, of course.
Okay, 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 okay. Okay, okay.
Mhm,
So if we assume that the world is supposed to make sense and it's not just a movie writer making a bad joke, yeah?
mhm,
I
mhm.
wonder where that even came from. Like, why even do that? What it didn't add anything to anything.
Yeah,
Maybe,
I mean,
maybe they did what we're trying to do. Just make
clickbaity stuff.
yeah, clickbait. Yeah, in a movie.
Hey, we are talking about it.
That's right. That's right.
So,
You know what? We fell into the trap that that writer set, and he
uh,
might be. He's playing chess while we're playing checkers.
mm, yeah.
But
All right,
okay,
next clickbait.
next okay,
Moving
wait, wait.
on.
I kind of want to think about this a little bit more. Like, okay, can we put it in our terms? Because what I saw, well,
Yep.
I wasn't affected by obviously the Infinity Gauntlet. My life was not
Mhm,
affected at all. But if I was in universe, I
mhm,
wonder if I would think of it because I think you know what, like people. So in our universe, people buy the Gauntlet as Legos and then frame it and what's it called, like use it as decoration.
mhm.
But I'm not a big fan of the Holocaust comparison. Let's say actually there's no okay.
No, I think 9/11
Oh,
is
9/11. There we go. That's for us, right? It's yeah.
mm,
That is a
yeah.
tragedy within my lifetime. But if somebody
Mhm.
went back in time and reversed it, would I celebrate the Twin Towers or planes? I don't know. Would I have like a statue? I feel like this is not good conversation. All right, whatever. Okay, but would I have like? You think anybody has a statue of Twin Towers with the airplane just heading towards it? That would
Well,
be. But it was reversed though. You know.
but even if it was reversed, it's a tragedy that has reverberating effects, right? Because even though everyone came back, so many people were displaced, and people who were snapped away came back to families that might have moved on. Like, I have actually have complaints about like Tony Stark's plan regarding that. Like, I think he actually should have turned back time instead of saying just bring back everybody that was snapped away 5 years ago.
What about his
Because
daughter?
that's the sacrifice he should have
Oh
made.
no, but it's not just him. Like a lot of people lived a lot of lives for what 5 years.
Yeah,
He's
but if you just turn back the time, then would they have known?
would they have known? I don't know, but if like I had say, hold up, hold up. No, no,
Well, anyways,
I don't.
that's
Okay.
we're getting off track. But the fact is, it was still a traumatic event, like because I think Captain Rambo, right? Captain Marvel's friend, like her mom, like the daughter got snapped away, but when she came back, her mom had died. So it's still a tragedy. Like it wasn't it wasn't like everything was just happy and go lucky. You know,
Net positive though,
it wasn't
probably.
a net positive. It was a net negative.
Eh? You think
Yeah,
you think him bringing? Hold up. Okay, explain explain that to me.
net negative meaning if you look at the entire situation. So Thanos snapping away half the universe is very negative, right?
Uh huh.
But the Avengers snapping people
Oh,
back 5 years
oh.
later, it didn't. I don't think it brought them back to
No,
baseline.
I mean, no, okay. So
It was still a net negative.
yes, I agree. If that's a wide net. I'm just thinking about that one act. Them bringing everybody back is a net
No,
positive, even
but
though it had all these negative effects.
you have to look at the whole thing because
But that's
the
that's that's.
Infinity
Hey, you know
Stones
what? Hey,
are.
give me a second. That's an accounting term. What's that called? Um,
uh,
you can't take previous losses into consideration. Oh shoot, what's that? It's an accounting term. Give me a second. Do you know it? I don't know, but basically, like, say, oh shoot, all right, keep talking. Let me try to figure this out. Hey,
No,
Kevin, I need some help.
no, because you have to consider it as a part of the entire calculus because the events related to the Infinity Stones. Because we're trying to figure out what type of cultural impact or cultural mind space that the Infinity Stones would bring up, right? Like as a culture, like even if you're not a Christian, when you think about the cross, you immediately think about, oh, Jesus Christ and his crucifixion, right?
I'm like
You
half
can't,
listening. Sure.
yeah. With the Infinity Stones, you can't just forget about the stuff that was bad and only look at the stuff that was good about it. I mean, you have to look at the whole thing, right? Because well, using that argument, like you can say with 9/11,
Sunk
there's a net
cost.
positive.
Sorry,
What?
it's a sunk cost, but I don't think that's applicable. But yeah,
Yeah,
basically, it's the
it's,
same idea.
it's not applicable because if you look at 9/11, you can choose to ignore the negative of thousands of lives being lost and the Twin Towers being destroyed and just look at the positive effects, right? Like patriotism went up really high. People, were rallying together to, you know, try to like motivate the country and all that, right? Those are positive things, but if you look at the whole thing, it was a net negative. And you have to look at the whole thing. How can you split those two things up?
I, I, I. It's already. I don't think. I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't look at it as a whole like that, because I
Why
look
not?
at each event separately. I mean, of course, it's all connected, but then I mean, you can connect a lot of events together, and I'm sure you could argue net always a net loss
No, it would be. There are things that are net positives as well, right?
in the history of the human race.
No, like no,
But
you.
everything is a reaction to something else. Like
No, no.
if you keep
Listen,
yeah,
I think
expanding,
you're. Can I be honest? I don't
sure.
think you're really understanding the concept here. When you're trying to figure out what kind of
You just call me
impact,
stupid.
when you're trying to figure out what kind of impact something had, you have to look at all the events that are related to that thing, right? I'm not saying you got to relate the Infinity Stones to everything that happens in the MCU. No, you just related to the things that the events that the Infinity Stones uh, un- unearthed or unfurled, whatever you want to say, right? And
I
there's
think how much, how far, like how much you, I think like how much you take into consideration. Like yeah, it's subjective. Like, do
no.
I think the second snap was net positive? Yeah, I think so. But if I include sure the first snap,
With the term net
maybe.
positive, why would you use that term just
Well,
for the
cause
second snap?
why can't you?
Why would you? What is the benefit of that?
Because yeah, the second snap, sure, it if you I mean there was a lot of negative things that happened because of it, but half of the universe's population coming back is huge. It doesn't even like come close to all the displaced people or economic difficulties or trying to come back to or trying to get back to normal after 5 years of being half of pop. Like I think it was absolutely a net positive. But if you include the first snap, then it's like sure, yeah, I understand what you're trying to say, but I think it's like
No,
that
the
is
reason
already done. Yeah.
no, the reason why we have to include all of it is because the Avengers had the choice to just turn back time, right? And then take it back to
Well, maybe that would, yeah, but that would have caused lots of negatives also.
what
What,
negatives?
5 years of people living and being alive?
No, because they would gain all that time back.
But like it's not like time was at a stand. It's not like people weren't doing anything. Like people who had children, people who did other things. I don't know. I mean, look, I don't know if you can measure it, but then what about all the people who were born within those 5 years?
No, so
It's it's like a baby
all
boom.
all the things we're talking about
Mhm.
point to the fact that the whole situation was a net negative. It can't be a net positive if there are all these negative things about any of the solutions, right? Like you yourself right now are admitting there was no good solution to this, and it's just a net negative.
I think it. I mean, like, do I think going back in time is a better solution? No. I think I would say that is worse. We would be worse off than just bringing everybody back. But I
No,
mean,
I totally
I mean, so
disagree.
that's it. Well, there's no way to prove it. I mean, we can't measure it.
No,
It just,
you can.
why? How?
You can. Because all the displaced people because of the snap, all that goes away. All the people who lost loved ones within those 5 years, they would gain all that time back. Like there's what do you mean? Like
Well, either way,
that's
people
the
lose people. Either way, people lose people.
no, but
Oh, but nobody would know.
you gain all that time back.
I don't get it. Why is that such a big deal?
Let's say that um put it in simple terms. Let's say you are
Mm-hmm.
married
Mm-hmm.
and your wife got killed. Okay. And
During the 5 years, I was snapped away.
no. Let's say no. I'm not even talking about the snap.
Okay.
I'm trying to boil it down to
All
its
right. Sure.
core concepts.
Uh-huh.
Let's say you were married, your wife gets killed, and in the next 5 years, you meet somebody else and you have kids, and everything is great, right? Like
Uh-huh.
you're over your dead wife.
Oh, okay.
So in that situation, right there, somebody comes up to you and says, "Hey, I have the ability to either bring your wife back to this moment right now, or I can turn back time to before your wife got killed and then prevent your wife from getting killed." What
Okay.
is the
Okay.
most
Okay. Okay.
beneficial
Sure. Sure.
outcome?
Okay. Say you though. Okay. Let's say you in 5 years from now, right, had another kid. Um, but give me a second. No, see, that's the only like people who could have been like you're thinking about people who are gone, but what about new people? Like, what if you had another daughter in 5 years? It's like, hey, whatever tragedy that you experienced in the past 5 years, we can erase it, but you'll have one less daughter.
So you're saying that you would choose to just bring your wife back and let her live a life where you're married to somebody else and you have other kids?
So I get my old life with my old wife back, but my new wife and new kids, they're gone.
Well, they're not gone. They're just
No, the new
you
kids don't
haven't you'll
exist.
never the new kids, yeah, they're gone. But
S-
your wife,
And I know,
yeah, huh?
and I know
No,
about it.
maybe you don't. I mean,
Oh.
they have the Mind Stone.
Well,
Maybe
first,
they
if I
can erase people's memory.
okay, if they erase
Huh?
everybody's memories, then I don't know. That's crazy. That's crazy. But no, I wouldn't. I don't know if I could go back in time, like lose two kids I had, unless I really like didn't like it. I guess.
Mhm.
I don't
I
know.
mean,
I don't know, man. I don't know why you think it's. I think either way, there are positives and negatives. You think one is just so much more positive. I don't get it.
yeah. Well, it's so
Ugh.
much more positive because the act of half the universe getting snapped away, like there's like
Oh,
very
so
little
the
positive you
last
can get
five
from that.
years was just bad anyway. You might as well just start over.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there are
No, you might as well make it so that that never happened.
I think a lot of situations we could think of where it's like, man, I really like I know it's bad right now, but I don't want to change the last 5 years. I think a lot of people think that way.
But is that worth the half the people that lost basically 5 years of life?
I,
And yeah,
well,
most of them had to start all over. Most of them have to, watch their loved ones move on and live life
okay. You
without
know what? Let's
them.
put myself as a snap person. I come back and my wife has moved on. And
Not only
like,
moved on, but she has her own like other kids. Maybe like your friends, like they died in that time period, so you never got to say bye. Like what?
but I'm a Christian.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm okay with people passing away. I'll see them later.
Okay.
eternal
And
perspective.
maybe your entire bank account is gone because 5 years you haven't been paying. Like your house is gone, you haven't been paying your mortgage. Your job is gone. You have to find a completely new job. Your your entire family is gone doing something else.
As a snapback person, then I would want to go back in time, sure. But
And
with
that's
my
half the
wife,
people.
what with my wife? No, but everybody who was here, half of them who were here, half of them
So
who
for the
were
half of
here,
them
uh
that
huh.
so what
Maybe
you're
they
banking
experience
on.
economic, anyway. Maybe
No, so
they,
this is I think this is the math, right?
yeah.
There's 50% of people who are guaranteed like negative impact. The people who are being snapped back. And then there's of the other 50%, there's a smaller subset who, yeah, maybe they did really well. And so they don't want to let go of their life.
What if
Right. But
everybody comes back and it's just like everybody just goes back to normal? Like companies, no, but it's like companies
that's
would
impossible.
lay people off or reduce their manufacturing production or whatever. But once everybody shows up, you just double it and everything goes back to normal.
That's not what happened though.
I don't think people would take over, like say in my current company and my current job. I don't think other like nobody would take my job because um it would be unnecessary. Like those spaces would be open until everybody comes back.
Or the company might go under.
Where would my house go? The company would go under?
Yeah. No, but you're making up all
I don't
these
know.
theoretical alternatives. I'm just trying to look at what actually happened in the MCU.
But you also don't know how people will react, after the 50% is gone.
What do you mean?
Maybe yes, everybody was sad, but maybe everybody experienced like an economic flourishing.
Yeah, but again, that's a
Yeah.
huge maybe, right? And for a subset of the 50%. So at max is 50%
But
of
you think
people might
everybody like who was left here after the 50% are gone? Like I don't know. Would a lot be different?
if you yeah,
Why? It,
half people you know are gone, you don't think that would impact you?
no, like emotionally, but I'm talking about like economically. Everything's
Yeah.
just the same except,
No.
less traffic, less customers.
Yeah.
I think a lot of things would be really similar.
How
If
how
anything,
is that possible?
what do you mean?
How would it be possible that everything is going to be half the people are gone? Because the infrastructure is the infrastructure, right? And it's grown to accommodate the people that are here. If
Yes,
suddenly
and the
half the people
workload
are
of
gone,
everyone's workload would cut in half.
no, it wouldn't. How is
No,
that possible?
what do you
No,
mean?
because like okay, let's think about people who have to maintain the roads, right?
Who's maintaining? Okay, but there's less people driving on the roads,
It doesn't matter because
and
the infrastructure of the highway system, that's
and people who had who were competing for jobs. There's a lot less competition for work.
unemployment is not at 50%. So it's
Huh?
like
Ex-
unemployment is not
yeah.
at 50%. So meaning that
Oh, there wouldn't be enough
sure,
labor.
yeah.
Give me a
No, but
second.
I
I
think
think that makes sense.
I think I think what you're saying right now is kind of like a fifth grader's understanding of the economy, right? Like you just think everything is completely proportionate. Oh.
It could have been better. I don't know. I think it could have been better. It would have been sadder.
So again, what I'm saying is even
Mm.
let's say that everything you're saying is right.
Yeah,
It's at max, at absolute max, 50% of people are better off, and the other 50% are worse off. But in all likelihood,
because they're
people who
not.
are better off
Uh-huh.
is less than 50%, right? So why not go for the majority and do what's best for the majority, not what's best for the smaller subset, which is basically, capitalism at its worst, right?
I'm drunk. I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, you can't
uh,
you can't end all conversations that way.
uh.
Just
No,
admit it.
give me a
Yeah.
second. I
Well,
can't look. I just wanted to have a chill conversation. Look, so what's the point that you think going back in time is better? Maybe.
Yeah,
I'm okay with
for
that.
sure.
Maybe, maybe.
For sure. Tony Stark is not the hero that the MCU thinks he is.
Oh, I'm not sure
He,
about
he
all
made a
that.
he
Huh?
made a really selfish decision.
Oh, because he want to keep
Just
his
just
daughter?
just just for his wife, yeah. Or his daughter.
Nah, you're wrong. I don't know how you're wrong yet, but I think you're wrong. You know
No,
what?
you're
Maybe
this
maybe people comment. Hey, comment below. Subscribe. Comment below. Let us know what you think about all of this. But yeah, you're still thinking about that movie. That's funny.
how did we get into this?
I don't know, but
Is this I guess this is the topic for today, the MCU?
you know, when I think about Endgame, whenever I start Endgame, I remember who I was watching Endgame with, and I do get a little sad.
Who are you watching it with?
Somebody really significant that's no longer in my life, but what
Oh.
can't that's is that normal? Is that not normal? Maybe yeah, maybe in the future I won't be as sad about it, but I remember
Mhm.
very vividly where I was, who I was with. I remember just so much of that movie. It was such a life impact, like it was such a, what's it called? Um like a core memory in my life.
Mhm.
Yeah, and every time, because I still watch Endgame like at least like a couple times a year, a few times a year. You know, I just turn it on and I watch it sometimes while I'm working or something. And every time I see the very beginning where Hawkeye's family's getting dusted,
Oh yeah.
I go back to that. I go back to like I remember sitting in a theater next to that person and gasping like, oh my gosh. And this, you know, the person I was with, they were not as interested in Marvel,
Uh-huh.
and they commented that I was overacting, but I
Mm.
still get like chills.
They so that they identify were their pronouns they them.
Doesn't matter what the gender is, okay? Does not matter to the story. Very significant person. Anyways, hey, you think Kamala Harris is gonna do good? I genuinely
No.
want to know. I think that was crazy. You know what? Like that. Cause remember last week we were talking about all those things about politics and Trump and Biden
Mhm.
and stuff, and then he drops out. I I am very surprised at that move that he made. Were you like, how did you deal with that happening?
I think it was inevitable. Biden
Really?
couldn't. No, but yeah, I mean, just looking at the polls, there's no way Biden can beat Trump.
I'm not looking at polls. Like, what was it, like 60-30 or like 80-20, like, or 60? You know, like what was the polls at?
So well, on average, I think it was probably like 40-60 before the debate. After the debate, I think it was plummeting for Biden. And so, and then the assassination attempt probably was
Oh,
the
I
nail
see,
in
I
the
see, I
coffin.
see, I see. Yeah, I can see
But
that.
if Kamala Harris actually does end up being the Democratic nominee,
Did you lose?
I I think I'm gonna lose faith in the whole system because it's you know what I don't know.
But
Am I gonna,
who else can they get in such a short
no,
time?
I don't want to be overly political, but the Democrats saying that Trump as a president is a existential threat to democracy because he tried to overturn the votes last time around. Them having said this for the last 4 years and then now bringing up Kamala Harris as the nominee for their party is so hypocritical because Kamala Harris tried running. I mean, she was in the primaries, right? And then she got destroyed in the debates by Tulsi Gabbard, and she dropped out. I think she was one of the first ones to drop out of the Democratic primaries 4 years ago or 8 years ago. And so for them to kind of shoehorn this person that nobody likes and that nobody voted for into becoming the Democratic nominee, I think it's yeah, they literally leapfrogged the entire democratic process. Who voted for Kamala Harris? Why why is she the nominee? Like, why is she one of two choices right now?
Are
It
those
just doesn't
fair
make sense to me.
comparisons from what Trump did and what they're doing now? I mean, they're
Why is it
similar.
not?
They are subverting democratic processes, which I understand. I think that's what you're trying to
I think
say.
the I think the only difference is if Kamala Harris becomes the nominee, the Democrats succeeded in subverting democracy. I think that's the only
Oh,
difference.
I
Whereas
see.
Trump failed, right?
Well, there's a time limit. There's a time limit that's imposed on them.
I mean, well, if that's true, they should have gotten rid of Biden a long time ago.
That's hindsight. Who knew that he would implode on stage? I guess he did a really, really bad
Wait,
job. I don't know.
who didn't know? If you saw any sort of public appearance by Biden before, who everyone knew he was going to be
Hey, you know
terrible.
what? He said something about chocolate chip cookies. I would really like a chocolate chip cookie right now. Uh, That's all I
I'm
know. I don't
glad.
know. I mean,
I'm
like,
glad. I
look,
mean,
I when I look at social media,
mhm.
because I'm not watching debates. I'm not watching his like public speeches. I only see the best parts and the worst parts. So I can't judge anybody by their, like I have no idea. I haven't really looked at him that closely. But people, maybe like people who really follow him, like listen to 100% of his speeches, 100% of his interactions or whatever. Yeah,
No,
maybe, yeah. But it's bad. It's just
no,
so
no, no.
bad. It's impossible.
I don't. Yeah, I think anybody who's paying any level of attention to Biden, there's no good view of him. Like there was not a single moment where people were like, "Oh yeah, this guy he's old, but he's like super sharp and he's like super charismatic." No, in the last like 2 years, there hasn't been anything positive that he did in public appearance wise to bolster confidence in
Okay, okay,
the
okay,
American
okay.
voters.
So like, who's in charge of, really in charge? I'm sure the president, like they say, oh, the president does all that stuff, right? Like putting people in charge of all these different things. And like when Trump was president, it seemed like he just, gave jobs to whoever, like lots of people he liked. Like, is that
That's
better?
that's what every president does.
Just give jobs
They
to whoever
appoint
they
people.
like. But
They
like,
appoint.
uh,
Yeah, no, it's those jobs. Those they're not like elected officials, right? They're people who
but
are
do I
appointed.
prefer inexperienced family members versus, I don't know who Biden has appointed to do
But
anything.
like what you're saying seems a little lopsided, right? Because out of your mouth, one side you're saying, well, with Biden, who knows? I'm not paying that much attention. Who knows what he's capable of? But then suddenly, with all of Trump's appointees,
Well,
you're
I guess
confident that
it's
they're
like
inexperienced.
what's the phrase? Like you pick your poison. Like one
Mhm.
guy, I'm sure he appoints people with government experience, whether it's good or bad. I don't know. I have no idea. But Trump, it seemed like he just gave jobs to just friends, family, whoever, just to take this giant job. I like you. You seem like you know what you're doing, and you put
You
him in that
know,
position.
yeah, but isn't that what he did with Kamala Harris?
What?
He appointed Kamala Harris as his running mate.
Well, she had government experience, a lot
Really
of it.
bad government experience.
Well, so what does that mean? I don't even know. She was a senator.
So she was a senator,
Hmm.
but before that, she was Attorney General of California. But she put tons of people in, like tons of black people in prison, like
Even though she's a
for
person of color.
yeah. But she's like, I'm a black person when it's advantageous, or she says I'm Indian when it's advantageous. She
Oh.
kind of uses it to her.
I mean, politics is a popularity contest. I don't know.
Yeah, sure, sure. But all that to say, I think they're equally bad on both sides. I don't think anyone's done better in
So,
terms
so,
of the
uh,
process, right? But
yeah.
I think the voters should vote on, were the 4 years under Biden better for them, or were the 4 years under Trump better for them? I think that's really all we have to go on, right? Because there's so much we don't know. I don't know anything. I'm not like a political scientist, right? So I just got to vote
But he started in
who
COVID.
was it
It's
better.
like an unfair 4 years. But
No, I don't think so.
you don't
Well,
think so?
I say that because we don't know what the next 4 years is going to be. And why give someone the benefit of the doubt for something so big and important? Like are you just going to say, well, because this guy might be a little bit better given better circumstances, I'm just going to give him a shot? I don't know, that's too big of
So
a risk
between
for me to
Kamala
take.
Harris and Trump, you're gonna vote for Trump?
Oh, 100%.
Oh.
Yeah. I actually I had a there's a bigger likelihood I would have voted for Biden than Kamala Harris. I think Kamala Harris is a really disgusting human. The thing that really makes me upset about her, when she was Attorney General in California, she had the ability to bring back old evidence to exonerate people who were on death row, but she refused because she didn't want her record to be tainted. And then like the courts, like a judge had to like force her to admit that like DNA evidence into court, and then they were able to exonerate him. So literally, it's like someone could have died unjustly because of what she did. And I as a human being, I think that's like so despicable. I can't get behind someone.
I mean, that sounds bad.
What do you mean sounds bad?
Well, if it's
That
100%
is
true, I
bad.
don't know. Just I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
no,
But it
it's
sounds bad.
literally
If she did
it's
that,
in the
if she
records.
100% did that, then that's really bad.
She 100% did that.
Okay, then that's bad.
That's the reason why she got destroyed in the debates
But
because all that stuff was fake.
but okay, so that's how she got destroyed because her
Yeah,
past. Trump doesn't have a great
yeah,
past either. He's low key a fraud, a scammer.
sure, but
Yeah,
again, you
nobody
just I
died.
think you have to
People could have
vote
died.
on.
Uh,
People could have died, but like you just got to go on what you know. Right? You just got to go. And you know what? The other thing is, Trump was the only president in history to have their net worth go down during his presidency. That says that says something. I don't know what that says, but it says something.
what? Well, I wonder why. People. I mean, like.
Well, I mean,
mm,
to be fair, he obviously he's an outlier in terms of his net worth compared to every other president, right? There's that. But anyhow, I think if the Democrats had a better option, I might vote Democrat. But if it's Kamala Harris, there's no way I'm voting for her. So I mean, Trump it is. But again, like it's like why are those the two choices? Why is it Kamala Harris by default? Nobody voted for her. We live in a broken system,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I think democracy is not. It's not that democracy is at stake. I think democracy has already been lost. If Kamala Harris does indeed become the Democratic nominee.
You know what? I'm very excited to see what's gonna happen. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm very excited because like I wonder if I'm sure it matters. I'm sure it matters, but it doesn't feel like it matters. Like it's just picking one party who will, do whatever they want, or another party who will do whatever they want.
Mhm.
But I am very
You know,
interested to see who will win between Kamala Harris and Trump. It's a very exciting spectacle.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing that like for me, and I guess I'm very sheltered. Really, the only difference that a Democratic president or a Republican president has ever like, the only impact it has had on me
I miss
was
Obama.
how much
Go ahead.
tax.
Oh yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
when Obama became president,
Taxes
or I
went
guess
up.
when Obama was president, my tax was high, and then when Trump went into office, I think almost immediately, like the month
Oh
after, my
really?
taxes went down. Yeah.
Well, you know what? That is one of the only things I do care about. But that's us in a slightly higher tax bracket than average. Some people, yeah, I don't know. Democrats, if your income is lower, I'm sure there are more benefits.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
higher your income goes, yes, you wanna that.
Yeah.
But I do like social programs, which Republicans don't believe in. But I don't trust the government to do social programs either. I don't
So
know.
we're
Huh?
stuck but between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah,
There's
that's right.
no
That's
real
right.
good vote. So I I think I tend to lean Republican anyway because yeah,
I mean, I want
it's
less
really the only
government.
thing I can see. Huh?
Republicans believe in less government. I do believe in less. Yeah, I don't trust the government to do
Yeah,
anything. Yeah,
yeah.
that's one reason. I mean, like, I think it's better to be conservative in theory than in practice, or practice too. Maybe I don't know. Yeah,
Who
I
are
don't
you
know.
voting for?
I'm not voting. Am I allowed to say that? My household will be net Trump. Huh? But I don't really. I mean, like, I'm not gonna go waste my day because I have to take time off of work probably and go vote for
no,
somebody I don't really believe in. Like, I don't. It seems
no,
stupid.
I think for presidential election, your work has to give you time off. So,
Nah, but then I have to come back to extra work. I'm okay. Like who's gonna cover me? Nobody. So I have to come back to extra pile of work to
No,
go
but the
do
whole
something I don't
country is
believe
going to
in.
be out, I think.
No, no. People who have to work, they will work. Yeah,
True.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
did
yeah.
the CrowdStrike thing affect you?
The what?
The CrowdStrike IT outage?
No, no. I didn't even know that was happening. It's not like I flew anywhere. I was at an IU concert when I was reading about it.
No, it wasn't just the airports that did. You know
Oh,
that, right?
I didn't feel anything. I really genuinely didn't. I didn't know about it until it was happening, or like it
It
already happened.
it was the biggest IT outage in the history of computers, I guess. Like ever. There's nothing that that big that's ever happened before.
Didn't notice. Lights were on. AC was running. I was at an IU concert. The State Farm Arena was good. It was fine. Am
I
I
mean, I think,
doxing
but
myself?
I don't know. But yeah, my work, we lost access to a bunch of servers and we couldn't work for a couple of days.
What days was it last week?
It happened on Friday.
Oh, I took the day off.
Oh yeah,
So yeah, I was off that day, and yeah, so and for the whole weekend. So
yeah.
wow, what
Like
fortunate
I'm sure
timing.
a lot of your customers or whatever, clients or whatever, might not have been able to contact you because they didn't have access to their systems. 'Cause-
Phones?
And
I
every,
don't know. We're
well,
very
the
we're very
PO systems,
analog.
right? Even PO systems.
I,
I don't.
I had when I came back to work on Monday, I had over 100 emails. I read through them. It seemed like everything was fine.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Email wasn't affected.
I don't know. Yeah,
But anyhow, I think what did I say that? Because I was trying to it was kind of like the Thanos snap of
what?
the IT world. It halted things just like that with a snap of a finger. To tie it back to our original
Hey, don't be
topic for
don't be
the
trying to
day.
put bows on things here. Okay, just keep going. But I didn't feel it, so I was okay.
Uh,
Yeah, maybe. If hey, I'm trying to think. Maybe like say like the snap happens, but everybody you really care about, they're fine. Would your life be that much worse? I guess your
I
job
think
would
so.
be. I guess you'd make a little bit less money. I don't know. I don't know. I think
No, I genuinely think if half the people disappeared, all of our infrastructures would fail. Like we would lose internet, power would go out, water, with all that. All the grocery stores are going to run out of everything. I don't think. I mean, half is significant. Yeah. Are you there?
probably no. Yeah, probably. I'm gonna say what you're saying is likely and probable, but I'm open to the possibility that things are much better.
No, think about the Birmingham bus boycotts. Right?
Okay.
Black people, they wanted civil rights, so they stopped and they boycotted the buses, and
Oh,
that indeed did have a impact to the bus company's bottom line. Do black people make up half of the population? No. Do they make up a significant part of the population? Sure, right? But at less than 50%, they were able to make their voices heard and have an impact to that industry in that area, right? So imagine that half the people did something like that across everything, not just buses. Of course, it's going to have a huge. These moments of silence make me uncomfortable
no, something fell out of
because
my
I,
head. Something fell out of my head
oh,
while you were talking. Like, no,
like your
I
brain.
think that logic makes sense. Yes, something fell out of my brain. Something. I think that is logically sound, but probably like I know you hate when I say this, but a false equivalence.
You say that a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think you know what that
No,
means.
I don't think. I mean that it's like yes, that is some good evidence for your point, the point that you're trying to make. but it's we're talking about something that is impossible to like predict.
Yes, I agree.
But
Predict
okay, okay.
100%
But
accuracy, but I think
would those bus companies and like they boycotted malls and all those places that they boycotted, would they have gone under? Possibly.
layoffs would have happened. I mean, just
No, but the layoffs, it's like they're already gone. 50% is already gone. It's like every I don't know. The way that it's probably incorrect, but the way I picture that whole situation, everything is happening, but just at 50% capacity. But you're only serving 50% of the customers. Like what is
think
really gonna
about
be
think
affected?
about think about a car manufacturing factory.
Hmm.
Even if you're making 50% less cars, you can't operate that factory with 50% less people.
But you don't need to make any more cars.
You need even if you want to make more
Like
cars,
no,
there's a
yeah.
minimum threshold of people that you
All
need
of a
to.
sudden, the demand is cut in half, but the supply stays the same. Maybe you don't need
No,
any more anything.
no, the supply. That's my point. The supply wouldn't stay the same. The supply would go to zero in
Like
a lot of cases.
futures. Well, like,
Because
uh,
let's say that a factory, right? You think all factories can operate with half the people that are working there right now?
but you don't need any more cars. Like, why would you? I think there would be a restructuring of like people like reallocating resources, like human labor and stuff.
Okay,
Like, you
fine.
don't need
Forget
cars.
that. Forget that. Let's say bread factory,
Okay,
right?
okay, food. I
Can
think
you
food.
run a bread factory with 50% less
Hey,
people?
50% of the people who used to make cars, they could go make bread.
No, but
Uh,
do you see what the point I'm trying to make, right?
no.
There's a minimum number,
Uh,
minimum threshold. Like the infrastructure as we've created it requires a minimum number of people running it in order for things to move
yeah.
and things to progress. But removing half the people, even if you remove half the demand, removing half the people working the infrastructure doesn't cut it. There's no
I
way
mean, you
that
would
it does.
those look. We would have to trust some sort of governing body, which I don't think they would do a good job anyway. They would just have to push people into different areas. Like, oh, you used to make cars, now we need you to make bread.
No, but you're talking in this is the best case scenario, right?
Hmm.
There's somebody who knows everything and is able to efficiently
I
reallocate
actually
all
would love
resources
for the
across
government to be
everywhere.
cut in half. But anyway, go ahead.
No, that's
Yeah.
an impossible task. And you don't know is working in a car factory, is that skill applicable to running a Apple store or building computers or being a truck driver? No, you can't just move people around
I think
there.
no. So I think a lot of like computers is it's like a luxury good. I think a lot of luxury goods you would not focus on anymore. All of the workforce would be pointed towards and moved towards vital things like food and I don't know what else. What else? Yeah, just keeping people alive.
Medical.
And then medical, yeah, people would be employed. All yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's
No, I
sadder.
think no, I think you're grossly underestimating.
I could be. I could be. I don't know. I would. Well, but again, this is like an impossible. Like there would be a time of like growing, not growing pains, but pains, transitional pains. You know.
Yeah.
But eventually, people would transition to where they're needed. But I don't trust anybody to organize any of this. That's the issue. So there could be just mass chaos.
Of course, there's going to be mass
Of course, there's
chaos.
gonna be mass chaos. But
Yeah, that's where
like, say
all
Kamala
the
Harris, you
systems
know
are going to
what?
fail.
I trust the president of our. No, I don't trust anybody to do anything.
Yeah.
The point is, I
What is
had
the
a
point?
whole pizza yesterday, and it was really good.
Wow.
Yeah, Papa
That's
John's.
which
I want to own a Papa John's one day. I'm gonna keep saying that. I'm gonna.
hey,
What?
are you going to watch Deadpool?
Oh yeah, yeah. I would like to. I can't this week, but I would really like to.
I want to.
Why? Oh, you know, if I was looking forward to watching If it came on like Paramount Plus, it
Uh-huh.
was not. It was okay.
Not good.
It was alright. I don't know, but I am looking forward to Deadpool. I think Deadpool will be really fun. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Bye bye.